Okay, so when you think about AI right now, what's the first thing that pops into your head? Probably, software, right? A tool you use.
Yeah, maybe something you subscribe to or install on your computer.
Exactly, just another piece of tech in the digital toolkit.
Yeah.
But what if that whole way of thinking is, well, fundamentally wrong?
What if it's not just software?
Yeah. What if AI is actually labor, a completely new kind of labor?
That's the core idea, the really provocative concept we're digging into today. It comes from work around what's called the AI labor playbook, and particularly the viewpoint of Dr. Jules White at Vanderbilt.
Okay.
And the argument, it's simple on the surface, but it's pretty profound.
Mm-hmm.
The biggest shift with AI isn't the tech itself, it's how we think about it, how we manage it.
AI as labor. Okay, hang on. That's a big jump. So help me unpack that. Our mission today is to really try to get our heads around this. What does it actually mean to treat AI like a workforce?
Right, not just software you buy off the shelf.
And what are the real world effects, the surprising implications for companies, for individuals, for strategy? We're trying to cut through the hype here, understand this fundamental shift.
Exactly. The core idea is you've got to stop thinking like a procurement manager asking, which AI product should we buy? That's old thinking.
Product thinking.
Product thinking.
Yeah.
You start thinking like a strategist. How do we build scalable cognitive AI labor capacity? And who leads it? It's a shift from software procurement to, well, labor strategy.
Okay, so if you adopt that mindset, everything kind of shifts, right? The source material says prompts. The things you type in, they're not just queries anymore. They're tasks.
They're task assignments.
Mm-hmm.
And the chat window, where you're talking to the AI, that's not just a user interface.
The interface to the AI labor market, that's where you assign the work.
Precisely. That's where you hire the AI for a job. And the models themselves, GPT-4o, Claude, whatever, they become your programmable workers.
The programmable workers who need management.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Just like any workforce, they need leadership, guidance, oversight. They aren't self-managing. And your ROI, your return on investment, it hinges on who can actually use this labor, how well they're trained to direct it, and how efficiently you can deploy it across your existing systems.
Okay, so AI is labor. How does the work actually get done? You mentioned tasks. The source talks about labor-to-token exchanges. This sounds important.
It's the absolute core mechanism. It's the process where you take a traditional task, something a person might do, and you convert it into an interaction with the AI using language, using instructions. Your prompt is that instruction.
So every time I ask ChatGPT for something and get a useful answer, that's a labor-to-token exchange.
You got it. You formulated a request, sent it off, got a result. That's the exchange.
And tokens.
Yeah.
They're the currency here, right? The source says they're the basic units of language the models use, input and output.
That's right. They're basically the economic unit of AI labor. They measure the work, and they price it.
So the cost isn't flat. It depends on the task.
Exactly. It's measured in tokens. Give it a huge document to read. That's a lot of input tokens, higher cost.
Mm-hmm.
As for a super long, detailed report back, lots of output tokens, higher cost. It reflects the scope, the complexity of the job you gave the AI worker.
And the source gives some good examples, like generating marketing copy drafts.
Or writing technical documentation, unit tests for code, analyzing policy impacts.
Creating strategy outlines, simulating buyer personas, churning out different blog post versions.
Yeah, all those cognitive tasks reframed as work requests for AI labor.
And the key thing is, this AI labor can tackle stuff computers couldn't before, right? Like asking, how can we improve collaboration? Or brainstorm ways to appreciate our grants administrators.
Exactly. These aren't just rigid data tasks. They need interpretation, creativity, generating new ideas.
But the real game changer, the source argues, is the interface, natural language.
Right. This means pretty much anyone, not just the tech specialists, not just programmers, can actually direct this AI labor.
You don't need to code to assign work anymore.
Nope. Labor itself has become programmable using just plain English or whatever natural language you use. That opens the door for a much, much wider group of people to lead, create, automate.
Okay, but with all this capability, it's easy to get carried away. The source is really clear on this point. AI labor does not manage itself.
Critically important.
Mm-hmm.
And it absolutely does not replace humans. The human element is indispensable. It's still right at the heart of all this.
So the AI isn't just running off doing things autonomously. We, the humans, are still needed to figure out what problems AI should work on, what opportunities exist.
We need people to craft those effective prompts, the instructions that get good results. And crucially, we need people supervising, checking the work, verifying the output.
So innovation doesn't come from the AI alone. It comes from empowering people to lead the AI.
Exactly. Leading AI labor is actually a new skill. It's a blend of good communication, problem solving, and almost like systems thinking, breaking down work for this unique kind of worker.
And most people aren't trained for that yet.
Not at all. Even really smart, skilled professionals often don't instinctively know how to do this well. So training, building this new kind of literacy, it's absolutely essential for success.
Because we bring the uniquely human things, the creativity, the spark of curiosity, the ethical compass, the empathy. AI can't replicate that.
Right. The source sees humans being repositioned, not replaced, but elevated. We become the orchestrators, the supervisors, the integrators of this powerful new digital workforce.
Which leads to a really important strategic point the source makes. The main goal here shouldn't just be cutting costs or jobs.
That seems like the obvious first place people would go, doesn't it? Efficiency.
Yeah, isn't automation usually about efficiency first?
It is, and you certainly can get efficiency gains. But the source argues pretty strongly that the far bigger opportunity, the truly game-changing potential, is using AI labor to actually expand what your organization can do. Expand capacity, creativity, capability.
So doing more, doing new things that were maybe impossible before, unlocking hidden potential in the team.
Precisely. Think of AI labor as an amplifier, a creative force multiplier. It takes cognitive work that didn't scale well before and makes it programmable, on-demand capacity that individuals can tap into.
Okay, like the examples in the source. Teams brainstorming faster, running simulations.
Exploring edge cases they never had time for, testing dozens of approaches, optimizing processes, refining messages until they're perfect, personalizing strategies at scale.
Even creating unique offerings much faster, with the same team size.
Yeah.
You're amplifying the people you have.
Exactly. So the focus shifts. It has to be on elevating, educating, inspiring your current workforce. It's a growth mindset, not an austerity one.
But making this work across a whole organization, that requires thinking about the plumbing, right? The IT architecture. The source says this is critical.
Absolutely critical. How your systems are built literally shapes your internal AI labor market. You can't just bolt AI on top of creaky old structures and expect magic.
So it's not just the AI model, it's the foundation underneath.
It's the foundation. The source emphasizes modular systems, specifically decoupling key layers. They identify 4 layers that need to be separate to give you flexibility, capability, and cost-effectiveness with AI labor.
Okay, what are they? First is the AI labor market interface, which is basically enterprise chat.
Right, that's it. Monitoring usage, evaluating performance, tracking token costs, improving how it's all used. Decoupling these 4 gives you strategic control. You're not locked in.
Let's dive into that third layer a bit more, the interface to systems. The source mentions token to computation exchanges. What's that about?
This is a really powerful concept. It leverages a specific strength of current AI models. They are surprisingly good at taking human goals expressed in natural language via tokens and translating them into precise computation.
Like writing code.
Exactly. Generating code snippets, writing database queries like SQL, scripting workflows, things that then execute perfectly on downstream systems designed for computation.
I like the analogy the source uses. The AI becomes the programmer of the calculator. The AI itself might make math errors sometimes.
Hey, we've all seen that.
But it can write the exact Python script or SQL query to make another system perform that calculation perfectly.
Precisely. And this is how you bypass the friction of so many clunky old enterprise systems.
Yeah.
Instead of forcing people to click through 10 screens or learn some complex interface.
You just ask in plain English.
You ask. The AI understands your intent, translates it into the system's required language or actions. It dramatically reduces all that manual glue work people do, copying data between systems, figuring out interfaces.
The sales leader example really brings this home. Instead of manual CRM digging, the leader just asks the chat,
"Show me my top prospects in Nashville likely to close this quarter."
And the AI, acting like that programmer of the calculator,
figures out the request, knows the CRM, holds the data, writes and runs the query, brings back the list.
And then the leader can follow up. Okay, draft personalized engagement plans for them using past notes and schedule follow-ups in Office 365.
And boom, token to computation exchange again. The AI translates the goal, interacts with the CRM API for notes, uses its reasoning to draft plans, then interacts with the Office 365 APIs to schedule tasks. Multiple human steps collapsed into one conversation.
Which circles back to why that first layer, enterprise chat, is so vital as the AI labor market interface.
Yes, It's not just another chat app, it's the central marketplace. It uses the most natural interface we have conversation. The source puts it well. Would you hire a human analyst and only let people assign tasks via button clicks? No way.
You talk to them, give them goals, context, feedback.
Exactly. Chat lets you lead AI labor the same way you'd lead human labor.
And the risk, the source points out. Embedding AI chat only inside specific tools, that's a problem.
Huge problem. It fragments access. It means AI can't easily help with problems that span different departments or systems, often the highest value problems. It limits your strategic options badly.
Which underlines how critical those architecture and even procurement decisions are. How you buy and build really matters.
It directly impacts your ability to access AI labor, afford it, and scale it effectively.
The source lists 5 big problems if you get locked into single vendors or just use per-user licenses. First, you can't easily switch to the best new models as they come out from different places.
You lose flexibility, yeah. Second, you can't get competitive pricing. Seat licenses hide the real cost, which is happening at the token level. You pay whether people use it a lot or a little.
Third, costs are murky. You don't really know the true economics of your AI labor usage.
Fourth, like we just said, it's hard to use AI on those cross-functional, high-value problems that need access across systems.
And fifth, it gets super expensive to give everyone access, even light users, if you're paying a high per-seat cost for each one, reduces the overall ROI.
But the Vanderbilt example is so striking here, because they built an open decoupled platform. They got access for, what, 7,000 users?
Yeah, around 7,000 users.
Yeah.
And the cost, only about $203 per user per month, including compute.
That just shows AI labor can be incredibly affordable if you architect for it and pay based on usage tokens, not fixed seats.
So the takeaway is stark. Modular, decoupled designs give you agility and cost advantage. Bundled, locked-in solutions lead to rigidity, higher costs, missed opportunities.
It's a huge strategic decision point. The source compares it to moving from fixed hardware cost to usage-based cloud, but argues AI's impact is even bigger. It changes what work gets done and how fast ideas become reality.
Okay, so if AI is labor priced in tokens, how do you know if you're getting good value? Not all uses are created equal, presumably.
Not at all. You need a way to think strategically about valuing these AI labor exchanges. The source gives a simplified model, kind of a conceptual formula.
Right, it was. Value times risk discount, divided by the sum of human oversight cost, assembly cost, and token cost. VR, CH plus CA plus CT.
That's the one. V for value, R for risk discount, CH for human oversight, KA for assembly integration, CT for token model cost.
And thinking through that helps prioritize.
Yeah. For example, low-risk brainstorming. The costs, CHXG, are low, risk R is minimal because who cares it's perfect, and value V can be decent, so likely high ROI.
But high-stakes decision support. The potential value V is massive.
Huge, but you have to manage the risk. Make sure human oversight CH is robust, ensure integration CA is solid. That's where it can really amplify your high-impact, high-salary people.
And those multi-step tasks. High assembly cost if people are manually connecting outputs.
Right, which is why those token-to-computation exchanges we talked about are gold. They automate assembly, lower K, often reduce oversight needed, lower CH, increase repeatability, better R, and deliver high-value V.
This connects to the leverage gradient principle you mentioned.
Yeah, this is a really neat insight from the source. The ROI often mirrors the salary or impact level of the human being helped. Supporting a senior exec or a top expert gives way more value than supporting a very junior role, even if the AI task looks similar.
It's about amplifying the human's leverage.
Exactly. Amplify the amplifier.
And those variables in the ROI formula, CH, Kelly, ACT, RV, they aren't set in stone, are they?
Definitely not. Organizations can actively improve their AI labor use maturity. You can lower CH through better training, lower CAN by building better tools and integrations, lower seat with smart architecture and vendor management, improve R with good governance, increase V by finding those high leverage uses.
So the goal is getting better and better at using AI labor to support people.
That's the constant improvement cycle, supporting and amplifying humans.
And at its core, the source really frames this whole thing as elevating everyone to lead this AI labor.
It's a very human-centric view, actually. AI labor becomes a tool for individual creativity, autonomy, making work better, giving everyone cognitive leverage. It kind of reminds me of principles like the Toyota way, empowering people on the front lines.
Everyone has tedious tasks they'd love to offload, right? Or ideas they don't have time to explore.
Exactly. AI labor, when deployed well, can unlock that latent potential across the board.
But you said earlier it's hard. People are overwhelmed.
Super hard. There's fear, inertia, the pressure of existing workloads. Just telling people, go learn AI feels like another burden, another thing they don't have time for.
And just focusing on the techies is a massive mistake.
Huge mistake. That leaves out most of your workforce. The source is really clear. Everyone needs access, and that conversational interface, the chat, is the key inclusive gateway.
That fear. It must get worse if the company message is all about cuts.
Absolutely. The message has to be about restoring creativity, autonomy, purpose, giving people powerful new tools to do their jobs better and focus on higher value work.
So how do organizations overcome these hurdles? What are the steps?
The source suggests a few key things. First, visible champions. You need peers showing how they are using AI labor successfully in their real work. Storytelling is powerful.
Make it relatable. And build learning into the job, not separate training.
Exactly. Relevant, hands-on examples tied to daily tasks. Show people how to solve their problems with it.
And normalize trying things out. It's okay if it's not perfect first time.
Crucial. Encourage exploration, iteration, learning from mistakes. Treat the AI like a collaborator you need to guide through conversation with cadence.
And always, always emphasize human judgment is final.
Always. AI supports, it doesn't decide. Ethics, empathy, final, calls those remain human. The goal is more empowered people, not fewer.
It sounds like it boils down to trust and time.
That's what the source says. People need space, permission, and real support from leadership. The message must be relentlessly positive. You're being elevated, not replaced.
And fundamental to that elevation is this new skill, prompting, the new literacy.
Yeah, and it's more than just typing words. It's a whole mental model. It's about breaking down problems so the AI can tackle them, providing the right context, knowing how to iterate, how to steer the AI. Subtle changes in phrasing can make a big difference.
It really sounds like a foundational skill for work going forward.
It absolutely is. Teaching people how to collaborate effectively with AI labor is the new digital literacy.
Like teaching programming, but using conversation.
Kind of, yeah. Teaching conversational abstractions, how to structure tasks, guide iterations, simulate context for the AI. Surprisingly rigorous thinking. And critically, teaching people to build in verification steps. Check the AI's work, especially for important tasks. Manage those hallucinations.
Okay, so let's try and pull this all together. The big strategic takeaway today: stop thinking AI is just software you deploy. Start thinking of it as a new kind of labor you need to lead and scale.
And the source gives us that leader framework as a handy reminder. Labor, not software. Empower the workforce. Amplification needs to be taught. Decouple the architecture. Enterprise chat is the key interface. Reach across the organization.
And the real win, the competitive edge, isn't just having the AI. It's using it to boost capacity, spark innovation, unlock productivity.
By empowering your people to lead that AI labor effectively.
The source leaves us with a kind of litmus test for any AI decisions we're making, right? Ask yourself, does this choice expand our AI labor market?
Does it empower more people? Improve access? Make supervision easier?
Does it keep our future options open? And most importantly, does it empower innovation through people leading AI?
If the answers are yes, you're likely on the right track, building a real sustainable advantage. If not, you might be building rigidity, missing the real opportunity.
Because ultimately, in this age of AI labor, the advantage goes to organizations that build systems and cultures where people and AI learn and lead together.
A powerful thought. What does that actually look like in your world?